So, namaste and welcome to Satsang tonight. Or, as Holly said, whatever time it is where you are. And really, truly glad to be here in Satsang. So, what Satsang is for, if you're new to the teaching, or even to the word Satsang, it is simply a word that means to gather together in truth. Sat is meaning truth, and sang comes from sangha, or gathering, or community, gathering together to focus on the truth of who we are. And the truth of who we are is that we're not separate beings. We're not separate from each other. We are one being, manifesting in an infinite number of ways, both as human beings, plants, animals, and all apparently insentient objects as well. So when that one being takes the shape of a human form, it becomes intensely curious about what it really is. And first, it gets very confused, at least in the mind, about what it is. It thinks itself to be just a mind and a body. And then eventually, when that belief becomes very limiting and constricting, it starts to wonder if there's something else, if we could be something else. And that's how we end up in satsang. And satsang, or a direct teaching like this, is really not just for knowing who you are really, what you are really, but living as that as well. Because it's not going to help us to just know about the infinite formless presence that we are. There's something that is here, and it's everywhere, and it's formless, but appearing as all of these forms, like waves on the surface of the ocean. And it is that that we're here to recognize in satsang. So we're going to do a guided meditation to dive into who we really are and to experience it, to taste it. And if you're new to these teachings, again, the meditation that we do might be different to any style that you've done previously, but it's really easy and you can't get it wrong. So that's really good news. We can just relax. We're going to notice what is actually here already, that everything that happens is happening in this background of here-ness, Here, here-ness. So what does that mean? It means, well, just before we dive into meditation, it means we'll recognize that if you have a thought, the thought feels like it's happening here. If you feel an emotion, it feels like it's happening here. You can't have anything that you experience over there. Every experience you have feels like it's happening here. There's this quality of here-ness that follows everything we do. If you get up and walk across the other side of the room, at every step it feels like I'm here, and now I'm here, and now I'm here. You never reach a place of being over there. Even when you get to where you're going, you still feel you've arrived here. There is no place such as there. There's only here. Here is not a physical location. So we're going to use whatever phenomena arise in our meditation, some thoughts, disturbances, restlessness, resistance, confusion, bliss, emotions, dog barking, a car passing by, someone talking in your environment, Whatever comes and goes, we're going to use it to notice that you're noticing it here. And as we do this again and again, and I'll guide us through it, so you don't need to remember anything that I'm saying. As we do this again and again, we just come to recognize that here is not a location of my body. It's more something formless and diffuse in which my body is appearing, your body is appearing. So, as always, let's begin by taking a nice deep breath and just bringing ourselves, or giving ourselves permission to just sit and meditate for 15 to 20 minutes. And you don't have to sit in any special position, only to make sure you're comfy enough to sit for 15, 20 minutes. And you can do it with your eyes open or closed, whichever you feel is better for you. And let's start by taking a nice deep breath again. And as you inhale and exhale at your own pace, let's just notice this sense that you're here. I'm here. We all have this feeling of being right here. Just noticing this sense of being here. Just a simple thing. We're not defining it any more than that. Just noticing I'm here. And if your attention wanders away from this sense of being here to a thought or to a sound or some sensation inside your body, you can simply notice that the sensation or sound or the thought is happening here. Notice you've been noticed here. Whatever you experience, you must be here first to notice it. Just this simple sense, I'm here. Bringing our attention back to this over and over. Attention will wander away by its very nature to a thought or feeling. Those thoughts, those feelings are happening, and you're noticing them here. You are here. You're simply noticing what's here already. Whatever you are here. You do exist. You are present. No definition needed. at all of what you are. Just this simple thing of being here. And again, if attention has wandered away, just bringing it back to the sense that you're here. Whatever comes and goes, thoughts, sensations, emotions, experiences, they're all noticed, experienced by you here. So we're not trying to achieve anything or become anything. There's no goal to this meditation. It's just simply to notice the sense of being here. Resting in a simple sense, I'm here. Whatever you experience, you are here to notice that experience. Whatever comes and goes, you notice it come and go. You are here first, and during, and after. So just checking where your attention is. If it's wandered away to some thought or some other passing phenomena, it's okay. Just bringing it back, recognizing the simple sense, I'm here. In a few moments, we will bring our meditation to a close. But before we do, let's take a moment just to have this intention in our heart that we become more and more aware of this presence that is just here. We might have called it I or me, but there is something that is always here. This sense of being here never leaves us. It is what we really are. So whenever you're ready, and only if you want to, you can open your eyes and have a stretch, have a move around, have a drink if you want to, and take a moment. So I hope you enjoyed the meditation. It's very, very simple meditation where we're simply bringing attention back to what is real and fundamental about us. There's nothing that's ever happened to you in your life, ever, without the sense of being here to witness it, to experience it. So this is the only constant thing. It's not a tangible thing. You can't point to this here-ness. You can't touch it. But if we look, it's the only constant thing throughout all of our experiences. I'm here. So again, as I said, I hope you enjoyed the meditation, even if it was different to what you normally would do in meditation. And meditating like this for 15 or 20 minutes a day is enough to build a habit to bring attention to what is real first. Eventually, attention comes to what we really are first and as a default setting rather than attention always going to thoughts or emotions. And when attention rests more in the sense of who we really are, this here-ness, as we're calling it today, it could be presence or consciousness or divinity or awareness, silence, all names for this same thing, this here-ness, all names for you. And when attention rests there more and more, it becomes clearer what this really is, what you really are. And the sense of being affected by the passing phenomena, the thoughts, emotions, all of those things, begins to fade away. There's a sense more and more that you're simply watching all of these things come and go. So I'd like to open it up now if anyone has a question you'd like to ask or a problem that you're having in your awakening. Feel free to raise your hand here on Zoom. We'll see what pops up. We'll start with Nate when you're ready.
Hi, Helen.
Hi, Nate.
Um, I think I had a recent experience of this Hereness. I'd like to run it by you.
Yeah, sure.
Started off as intense discomfort related to my partner, which seems to be about the only source of intense discomfort in my life. So she said something I thought was judgmental, and I felt ashamed and angry, and there was some fear there. But I had time to myself, so I just stayed with it. It was intense. And when I'm in that kind of emotion, things seem hopeless.
Mm.
I can't see my way out. I can't, yes, I can't be a little bit, it just feels hopeless.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, we're stuck. We keep coming to the same place. I just don't see a way out. Then in about 20 or 30 minutes, I got this first, it's softening a little bit, and I got this reminder, oh, you're in victim energy. You're being victim here. You're blaming her. You're being victim. And just having that, noticing that, took some of the pressure
Yeah.
off. And then I was in this liminal space where I was still upset, but I could see I was watching the mind making a case for how I had been wronged.
Building its story up, right? Building the
Building up
story.
a very
Yeah.
good story, but it was becoming less tenable as I settled with this. So I just sat some more, nowhere to go. And then I noticed the labels, shame, anger, fear, started to fall away. And I had this sense of, oh, that's the first line of resistance is putting that label on. The first step into separation.
Yeah. That's
It was a
powerful
me.
realization, isn't it, in itself?
Yeah, I thought so. I'm checking it in with you. So, so as those labels fell away, I could just see, okay, I used that to create a separation, a perspective, a point of there's a me looking at this, a me that's afraid.
Hmm.
As the labels went away, there was just the energy, and the energy was not separate from myself. And as
Beautiful.
that separation fell away, this energy gradually just became an abundance of love.
Hmm.
Just love and just awe at this gift I was being given, this lesson that had been crafted between me and my partner. And I could see it had absolutely nothing to do with her other than she gave me the opportunity. But all the things, these were all beliefs I had about myself. And I could see the only way anything she ever says ever hurts me is that deep down I believe it's true. And I didn't know that belief was there, so I couldn't clean it up. So now I had this wonderful chance to, just see that.
It's beautiful when, something is really starting to happen when you start to talk about discomfort and challenges as opportunities to clean something up, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, we still don't like them. We still don't want to go through them. But if we're going to go through them, we can use them. And what you said there was so beautiful that when the labels fall away, there's no separation. There's just what I was calling fear or shame or whatever it is. And it's just an energy in the body then that begins to change. Without the label, it begins to change on its
yeah,
own. Yeah.
that's true. Taking the label off of it freed it, or
Mhm.
freed me. So it just blossomed into this loving energy. And I did something I've never done before. From that place, I turned around and I looked at her. She wasn't physically there, but in my mind.
And
And
what
all
did you
I could
see?
see, just beauty,
Mhm.
just beauty, grace. And even if she meant what I thought she meant, she probably didn't. It wouldn't have meant anything. It was so it wasn't even real, really.
Now you're talking like a sage. And when
In
I
that
when I
moment, I felt like a sage.
yeah, yeah. And you can see then that the label I put on something is a way to protect myself from having to feel it. But
Mm,
it doesn't actually even feel bad if I don't label it. And the separation of me
no.
and it is always what's actually hurting me, nothing else. And that's
Yeah.
always something we can look at. We can drop the label just by being curious. What is this thing that I've just called fear or shame or guilt or anger or and it's actually love in disguise, isn't it, when you see it like this? It shows itself to be something very different than fear.
Yes. I've heard teachers say it's all love. So now I had that direct experience, at least of these emotions. This fear, this anger, this shame was love in disguise.
And even
That's
when you
what,
looked at your partner from here, where there's no sense of needing to separate yourself
yeah.
from them, it's simply everything appears with the same equal beauty or equanimity. Eventually, this will be how you see everything and everyone.
Yes. So as this happened, I felt like I'd been given the key to a magic door.
Yeah.
And did have the thought, okay, now I know the way. I know this pattern. So when it comes up again, I'll find my way home. Oh,
For me, it came down to a simple choice in every moment of whether to
mhm,
think about something or to actually experience it. To
mm.
think about someone or to actually experience them. And that we can choose to throw away what we think about something or someone and actually be deeply curious about what they actually are and there's no separation there then. And the more you choose it like this, the more it becomes a habit until that's all you can do.
You said something I hadn't seen, which was if I don't, I, if I'm labeling it, I'm not, if I don't catch it, I'll label it.
Mm.
Oh, and you said I'm protecting myself I'm avoiding feeling the emotion
Yeah.
by having these labels. Fear, shame.
Yeah. Like you noticed your mind trying to build a story about your partner.
Hmm.
You'll notice it does that also with fear or shame, right? It builds a story. And we really somewhere deep down feel that thinking about fear is going to somehow make it easier than actually just feeling it. And it's just not true, right? When that label falls away, when I don't know that it's fear, when I'm curious to meet it right there in that moment, the best I can at least. There's a dropping away of the sense of separation. There's no me and it, as you said so well. And that they cannot suffer from there. You cannot suffer from there.
Maybe this is asking too much, but is it fair to say that when I first read the text, I had a reaction. I missed. I was. I avoided whatever feeling was coming up and went into shame and blame.
Yeah, I mean, most of us in a situation like that unknowingly are coming even to read the text with a story already playing inside, you know?
Mm,
And that's just a habit. I know who this person is. I know how they
yes.
are, what they do, what they mean to me, all that kind of stuff. And
Okay.
from there, you read the text, there's kind of only one response that can happen, that same old trigger or something. But if you can see that she gave you a huge gift in a weird disguise, but it was nonetheless a gift. There's opportunity there.
So yeah, I like that. The story's already like, it's already moving,
Mhm.
and it was really my interpretation of what she said. So it was almost like a gift I gave to myself
Yeah.
to have this negative interpretation.
But if you can see that, and for me, there was this urge to go with the story. Here we go again. Why is this happening
Yes.
again? And then that hopelessness that you describe, it just kind of descends upon you. But the more you see that, the more you realize you have a choice in that moment.
Yeah.
Just to make a different choice, to prefer to just actually experience what's happening rather than be more interested in the story about what's going on.
You just reminded me of what she actually said to me. Set me off. It was, she said, you know, Nate, maybe shame is a choice. And I thought, what the hell are you saying? Like I would do this to myself? That's that's not fair.
You know, but you can, as you said yourself so well, and of course we don't understand this at first, but you can experience it as shame or you can experience it as love, depending on how much we're going to push against it. And it's the sense of separation from it, the sense of division that arises inside of us that
Yeah.
keeps it in this box that we've written shame on it, stuck it in this box. And it can't change then, like you said, it can't move.
I've done a lot of sitting with negative emotions like this for years now, but I've never had this experience where it, I've had it where it eased off and I had insights, but never where I was the energy and I just got out of the way
Mhm.
and it was love.
Yeah,
It makes
beautiful.
me believe when other people say it's all love. I say, well, part of it is.
I never experienced anything that isn't love. I used to think I experienced a lot of things, people, other things, but one by one they all revealed themselves to be this love. Because there was some taste in that moment. There was an experience the first time, like you're describing here. There's something very different. There's a different way to live here, isn't there? And something about that became very
Yeah.
enticing. I want that. And I want it all the time. I want to feel, I don't want to feel separate to anything. I want to feel, I am this fear that's arising, not I'm someone feeling it. Here I am as presence, and I'm also looking like fear. And it doesn't impact you then in the same way. And as something just wanted to cultivate that till it became a habit, choice by choice, moment by moment.
I think you said once that it's not so much putting an effort to not think, it's that the alternative, which is presence, will become so appealing that I'll start going there naturally. And
And
then
that's what happened
maybe,
for you, right? There was this taste of some other way of being with this. And it tastes so delicious. There's no separation there.
this felt like a real miracle. What is it? Or alchemy, when you're turning lead into gold? And I may have said this, but there was that moment where I was seeing this as love, where the mind still
Mhm.
said, yes, yes, this is love. But she has said this before, and it's probably you need to at least talk to her about it and sort this out. It was still had this way, but it was just an illusion. I could see, wow, that's just absolutely nothing there. It's just a fabric made of thought.
It's like every emotion that we've not felt or not being able to feel
Yeah,
is just simply waiting to be met from here, right? Without any label, and each emotion is on its own journey back to peace, back to love. And it will do that spontaneously if it can just be felt and met without even any stories, or even if there's a story going on, it's just not so important. I just really have this, it's a strange point in our awakening and we really want to meet fear or shame, isn't it? It's quite quite something. And I really actually want to meet this thing that I've been avoiding. Beautiful. Thank you so much for
sure.
sharing. Yeah, wonderful. We'll go to Monique.
Got it.
There we go. Hi, love.
There we go. Hi, Helen. Thank you. I'll say thank you to Nate also. Um, I always have a hard time to communicate what I want to say. I started to do imagination.
Mhm.
It's like I'm on my 14 days now.
Wow.
Reima- Reimagine my past. I I never thought that it would work so much. I am so amazed. And I'm also doing it's called nonviolent communication. And because I was very, very abused. And I totally ignore myself all my life. I didn't exist. And somehow, well, in the nonviolent communication, I realized that they were telling me I have needs. And I went, what? I have needs? I never realized I have needs. I never had needs. I didn't know it existed. For me,
Well,
it
maybe
existed.
they were there, but we weren't able to recognize them or acknowledge them. Maybe whatever was going on at the time for us. Yeah.
Yeah, I could not see I was not allowed to see them. I had to be n- uh, how do you say that? Like transparent, not exist.
Mhm.
I was not supposed to be there. I was not supposed to be born, and I was there for the whole time, like that way. But my heart, I think I was born with an open heart because it didn't affected me that much, and they could not understand why it was not affecting me.
Mhm.
But but now, and I had a lot of spiritual experience, which I was not on a spiritual path before because I only knew like Catholic. I thought the whole world was Catholic, so that's all I knew. And spiritual path, I had no idea about that. And so doing the imagining it's like I'm meeting myself for the first time, but I'm not meeting is what I want to say is I'm not meeting the true self because somehow I have always knew that one.
Yeah.
That one was always there. But I'm meeting um, the human.
Yeah. The human being, right? That we've largely
Yes,
ignored. Yeah.
yes, I'm
Mm.
meeting the human being for the first time. It's like I'm meeting myself. It's like, and I was wondering if I was cheating myself or I was doing it wrong or what's happening.
Beautiful.
But yeah, that's how it feels. And I am so happy to meet myself. It's the and the reason what brought me that is when something happened, I always freeze. If somebody tells me something, I freeze. I don't say anything, I don't move, and I get the pain like inside, and it stays there, and I have to deal with it. I could never. I asked for if I could be able to project it back, send it back, or say something, or say, sh- I don't know, shut up, or punch somebody, or do something. I could never, never, never do it. But now I don't need to do it.
Mhm.
It's it's um it's changing what I was told I was, and not to exist, and I am nobody. I don't know anything, and it's like um and I could never speak. So but I was not in so much pain. That's why I'm saying, that's why I don't understand. It's like I always had that joy inside that nobody could understand why I was still, with that. And anyway, so I realize now when I do the meditation in the present moment, yeah, somehow I can come here. Um, when I commit myself to do it, I just sit down and there it comes and I feel it. I feel the freedom. But what I want to say is lately is I feel a connection to like two separate things that are coming together. Before there was only one thing, and it was the real truth because the feeling was, I cannot deny that feeling. It was everything was here. That was just here. That's all there is. I never came and I will never go. I was always been here. I have always been here. But now there's two can the other one is coming. I think what happened is that something was stepping back and then the truth was right here. But now it's like, is it possible like I don't have to step back anymore? I can stay here. Does it make sense?
Eventually, there's the recognition of the truth that we are, and that becomes more and more constant and effortless. And at the same time, there's a sense of our individuality, a sense of a someone, not an actual separate person, but a sense of someone that can function as well as this background knowing of who we really are, this here-ness that is always here. So it feels like the recognition of this here-ness or this presence that we are becomes a fundamental thing. And also we're noticing our mind and body and our individuality play in front of that, right? And in those deeper moments in meditation, the sense of this individuality might seem to just it might just all be this one for a while. It's not really two ever, but yeah. But
Yeah.
in the experience in meditation, sometimes it feels just like there's just this. We open our eyes again after meditation. There's still just this. But there also seems to be someone going about their life and fulfilling their needs and doing whatever is going on.
Something also came to me while I was listening. Maybe it's the body that is um, releasing all like the body holds memory. When I was young, I was very, very abused, sexually abused for 12 years. And I didn't think I had a choice. It's like it's coming out now. And maybe that's why I feel that person that is coming out. I feel that one that's been hiding all those memory that was holding in the body. I was always so moving, moving, moving. I had to move, move, move because I didn't want to hear what was in my head. Now I'm starting to slow down and I think that's what is happening. It's, yeah, starting to slow down and to let it come because a lot of things is happening right now that is, it is unbelievable. Like it's not stopping. Like just give you an example. Like I almost lost my apartment. My car broke down. My dog almost died. It's and it's like the bank account. It took $600 from I don't know somebody got It it went on and on and on and on, and I'm going, my God, when is it going to stop? And I think this is what is coming out.
There's
That
something that happens as our awakening deepens, that we can finally look at these energies, these emotions that have been stuck inside that we couldn't look at the time. You know, whatever was happening, we thought we were a separate person and we couldn't face these things. But as you start to recognize who you are more, then there is the ability to allow these things to come. And when things happen like this in our outer world, it was the same for me. It was an unwanted opportunity, but an opportunity to actually look at some emotions that I really hadn't wanted to feel, that I didn't even really know was in there. So again, just as we were saying before, just meeting those from a place without labels, if we can, from the real being, from the here-ness, the presence. And it is thick and fast because finally we can feel what we need to feel without identifying with it so much, or less and less. And it can just be seen, just be felt. And we're not pushing it away. We're also not believing it, this is me so much, so it can finally just arise. All these things that are happening are showing us something inside that needs looking at. And if we can acknowledge that, it can begin to dissipate and diffuse. Yeah.
something, it's also whatever is happening, gosh, I mean, I can go on with, what's happening is it's forcing me to go deeper inside because it's getting almost so crazy, like, and this is one thing that I want to say is when I said there was two people, as I was listening to you, that other one that is coming is kind of disappearing.
Yeah. Every time
Like,
it comes, that bit of it disappears, and another bit
yes,
comes, and then it disappears. And this
yes.
person that we thought we were is just a bunch of energies that need to be felt, right? That's our old idea of ourselves. A separate person is just this collection of thoughts and energies and emotions that we can finally feel. And as you said, it disappears or turns back into love, or whatever we want to call that. Yeah.
I
Beautiful.
was going to say then the union is not needed because there was never any separation.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's how I feel it. Yeah.
We only thought there was, right? We only thought there was a separation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so
Lovely.
much for
So
sharing.
lovely. Thank you
So
so
glad
much.
you're
I love
enjoying the
you.
conscious imagining too. That's beautiful. Thank
Yes,
you
I
so much.
love it.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lots of love. Okay, we'll go to Claire. There we go. Hi, love.
Okay. Hi. Okay. Sorry.
No
I'm not
worries.
good at these things. Hi. Thank you for your teachings. Right at the beginning of your speaking today, you were talking about the manifestation, the arising of, well, it's all one thing, and all these different things are arising within it.
Mhm.
And you say it gets confused. You said those words, and this is in my in working through these things, it's the one thing where my mind really grabs on and wants to argue.
Yeah.
And that if everything is one thing and it's all perfect and it's all love, my mind does not understand how there can be any confusion about anything ever. And that if the divine, or whatever you want to call it, wants to see itself and perceive itself, why does it need why does it not just see itself perfectly and beautifully why the pain and the struggles and the fights, even though they technically don't exist, but they seem to
But
anyway.
they also do really exist while we're going through them, right? Absolutely.
Yeah, and I would like if you can guide me at something to hang my hat on to unhook that, because everything is so good, and then my mind latches onto that. What that doesn't make sense. And I know it's trying to teach me something, but I'm not getting it.
You know, you just described a very frustrating 3 or 4 years at least of my own journey where I was like, what is going on? Because I'd experienced these moments of this presence or beingness or whatever you want to call it. And it was clear in those moments that there's no person here. There's no karma, no history, nothing to solve. There could never be any suffering. And then like 5 minutes later or less sometimes, there was very much seemingly a person who was really having a horrible time and just wanted to quit the pathway and never read a non-duality book again or attend a satsang. And it just didn't make sense for the longest time. And what I came to see is that in the real being, let's just call it presence or real being, the unmanifest aspect of who we are, the pure awareness or consciousness or presence, it's true. It doesn't get confused. It could not get confused. There's no thoughts. There's no one to think. There's no separate being. There's nothing to undo. There's just this unmanifest pure presence. And that unmanifest pure presence also plays with these shapes and forms, plays as these forms. So it experiences itself as all these different forms, from the smallest subatomic particle to whatever the biggest thing in the universe is. And when it plays with the shape of a human being, it has this capacity to think. And for the first time, it can think about itself. But with that comes the ability to think in terms of opposites. And this is where it gets confused. So still, in the background, but forgotten at this point, is the pure, unmanifest presence still, where there's no problem, no confusion. And it's also arising as this human shape in which there are a lot of problems and a lot of confusion in the mind, all of that. So the challenge that we have is if we try to pick one of those, well, is it confused or not? Which one is it? But the paradox of it all is that it's usually both. So even when I feel I'm really, really suffering, I'm really confused and lost in my thoughts, there's still something that is aware of that, watching that is not caught up and could never be. If we can begin to kind of relax into the fact that both of those they're not really two, but they seem to be two. We keep having this experience of something deeply peaceful and restful and free already. It could never not be free. And then we seem to go back into this experience of really not feeling free, feeling very caught and very lost and bound. And that's why eventually the beingness begins to prefer to actually discover what it is rather than think about what it is. And it finds itself in satsang, where it will begin to have direct experiences through meditation, through self-inquiry, and to begin to see that the confusion in the mind is because the mind can't actually see what we are. It can only think about who we are. So can you find that place where there's a paradox that in the formlessness there's nothing wrong, could never be, and yet in the form there really does seem to be something wrong and someone awakening and coming back to truth and all of that?
It's almost like you have to take it on faith.
Well, not really, because even right now in this moment, we can prove it, yeah? Let's say there was some confusion going on or whatever's going on in the body right now or the mind, right? If there's thoughts passing by right now, there's something noticing those thoughts. And if we look at what is noticing those thoughts, it's something intangible, unmanifest, formless. There's no problems in that that's noticing.
Right.
But in the form, there's a lot of stuff seemingly going on. So you can kind of prove through your inquiry, self-inquiry, that it seems like both of those are there right now. We don't really even need faith. And all we need to do is to simply see that if we focus on the level of form only, trying to solve the problems that seem to exist in my life as a seeker, then it's going to be endless, right? We've experienced that. Even when the seekingness or the whatever this is accidentally turns around and gets a glimpse of the formlessness, that can only be for a moment because it's restless, it's a movement, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So all authentic spiritual practice is to bring attention back to that which is free already and watching the chaos and the turmoil. And eventually identity begins to shift. Actually, this one that's already free is always here when I look in my practice. Somehow noticing that there's something noticing that's already free. This tangled experience of a seeker begins to unravel itself somehow, right? Can you get a sense of it?
Yeah. Well, you did a piece on love and loving yourself and how to do it, and I got the book and I read it, and the section on global affairs was what exactly I needed to read, but it always goes back to this. Again, it's a mind question, and I know it, but it's like, is the universe not tired of seeing the pain and moving forward to stop it? It's this, and that there it is. That's the problem. I want that to be the case so that I don't feel upset about global affairs. It's my problem. I know that, but
can you admit that you're upset about this? And on
Mhm.
some other level, you're also not upset about this.
I had a glimpse of that incredible neutrality at one point. It just like it was the strangest experience of complete neutrality of observation with no judgment or like it was very surprising. So
And
yeah, I can.
what brought us to that place of being able to see was the total dispassion for experiencing as a person, right? That gets so bad and so awful that there's a willingness to see what's behind the person, what's always here. So now, from that place of presence, we can look, or beingness, whatever we're calling that, neutrality, equanimity. From that place, we can look at what's going on in the world. And as you so rightly said, without judgments, without blame, we can still have that desire for what we want to see, right? We can still, and that desire, of course, if we look at anything that's going on in the world, it's going to stimulate a desire within us. But when we recognize that desire is coming from the presence, the beingness, not a person, there's a power place then where we can actually, it may be our experience of the world is I'm going to say just, but it's not, it's just for that, meaning I go outside and I experience something, someone being unkind to someone else, immediately a desire is formed inside. And as the presence, my job is to only feel that desire, to feel that desire, and to look at any beliefs that are in the way of it manifesting. What's the very first belief that's going to come up? Well, I'm just a person. I can't do anything about that. I would love the world to be more loving, but I'm just a someone. The first thing it does then is begin to rid itself of this belief in separation
Yeah.
so that its desires can manifest in a very unlimited way.
Yes.
So there's this misunderstanding, I think it was the same for me, that when I realize who I am, I'm going to just not care about the world, or I'll have to somehow drop everything that I'm passionate about. But it was actually the other way around. I found myself more moved and more um, willing to look at what I couldn't look at as a separate being, and to look at what's going on and have a desire arise for usually, well, it's usually the opposite, isn't it? Whatever's going on with the desire is for something opposite to that. And then a realization deepens over time that that's what's actually occurring in each body and mind. It's starting to shed its limitation thoughts so that what it wants, as you so rightly said, it wants to recognize itself. And when it recognizes itself, it could not be unkind to any form at all, couldn't cause any harm. And the thing that needs to happen for that to manifest is for it to let go of these ideas about itself that are held in that form aspect, right back to where we started. Yeah.
Right. Okay. That makes complete sense. Thank you.
It's a question that comes up very often because, like, what is the point in all of this if I'm realizing who I am, but still I look at the world and it's insane. It's just insane what's going on there. So, and we all know we could all pick something that we would like to see different in the world. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so look, what you see is giving you the contrast to see what you really want, what you do want. And then look at everything that your mind says is a reason why it can't happen. None of those reasons exist if you're not a separate being.
Yeah.
It's exciting, isn't it?
And that's where the change arises.
Yeah, when you look
Deep
at
change
something
further.
from presence, as presence,
Yes.
it has to change. When
Yeah.
you look at it from judgment as a separate being, and of course that's all we've known till now,
Mhm.
it cannot change because we're separating ourselves from it in our
Yeah.
process. So,
Okay. Thank you. That's wonderful. Thank you very much.
wonderful. Thank you. Glad you brought it forward. Okay, so we'll finish with Keith. Oops, still muted there. Oops. Did you get a prompt to? There we go. Wonderful.
Yeah, I get unmute it and then I get a prompt to unmute it and then
Wonderful.
it mutes me. I feel like I'm a remedial person and I shouldn't keep asking the same question. But why am I
Let
not
me
getting
let me stop you for a minute there. I want to say I love your courage and your ability to keep asking the same question until you really get it. All it is repetition, right? Repetition. And
Hmm.
every time you're brave enough to ask a question, it's helping everyone here, everyone, myself included.
Hmm.
So, what if there are no remedial questions? There may be just questions we haven't asked enough times yet or heard enough times. And
Well, thank you. I forgot what my question is.
take a minute to.
It's funny how we move straight into judgment of, at least how I move straight into judgment of self. I was looking for that magic key that Nate has.
Yeah.
No,
And
but I mean, because okay.
we can experience that right now if we just experience this moment together. We don't judge if there's no labels we're putting on what should happen here. Even if, like, we sit here for 2 minutes and you still don't remember your question, it doesn't matter, does it? It's fine. It's totally okay. It's
I
giving
mean, the
yourself
thing is,
a moment.
no, I mean, I think what it was is like I had these times like last night, I woke up in the night and I keep thinking about worrying about stuff. And I keep thinking, oh, I should be over this by now. And then I think, where is this sense of being? And then I think, well, so what? What does that mean? That doesn't stop me from worrying. And then I just keep worrying. And I want to, like, where is this freedom that's supposed to come from? I must not be doing it right because I can get this sense of being thing, but then it doesn't seem, I don't know.
What if
I must not be doing it right because my life isn't changing.
that's it right there, though, this sense of I should not be still worrying. When I looked at my life, the content of my mind, when things were really bad, it was a whole lot of shoulds and shouldn'ts about myself. Should be more awakened, shouldn't be judging other
Exactly.
people. And the one that was really it's quite funny now in hindsight, but it wasn't. I should not be judging myself still, which is actually a judgment of myself, isn't it?
Yes, yes,
But I
yes.
couldn't see that at the time. And I'd like to offer an opportunity, if you're up for it, to spend a day or a week or an hour where you don't do that to yourself. You don't should or shouldn't yourself. So that means simply, if you're worrying, worry. If you're angry, be angry. If you're bored, be bored. If you'd rather watch the TV than meditate, do that. You get where I'm going with this, right?
Don't fight myself about it. I shouldn't be doing this.
What is what
I
is.
shouldn't be
And
watching TV or
yeah,
whatever.
whatever is happening, and everyone can follow this invitation if you want to, and it really changed a lot of things for me. The recognition that it's what I'm constantly negating myself when I say I should not be the way I am right now.
Mm,
What we're actually really saying without realizing is the beingness is not the way it should be right now. And
yes.
that costs us a lot, right? Costs us our peace inside, our sense
Yes.
of equanimity. So if I'm terrified, can I be, I'm never going to like it, but can I just not decide and stamp that this should not be here, this fear should not be here? Well, I prefer if it wasn't, but it is here. What's the point in saying it should not be so? Can it ever really solve anything?
No, no,
If you look at
no.
how you spend your time, it's probably divided between internally. I mean, half of it trying to get rid of some things and half of it trying to move towards other things, right? I should be
Exactly.
like this and I should be like this.
Yes.
And in any moment, we can just stop that for a moment. And then like, what if I lost my capacity to should or shouldn't myself? Just for a moment. Let's feel that now. Shall we feel that together now?
Yeah, of course. Mm.
And everyone can do this. I am as I am right now, and that's it. And there might be things we would like to happen in the next moment. We might like to feel a certain way, not feel the way we've, if there's some fear or something, but the way to get that is not by shoulding or shouldn'ting. How about we eliminate those two words from our own conversation with ourselves?
Mm.
How does that feel?
It makes me sad when I think about it, it makes me sad that I beat myself up so much about, I
We could
guess maybe,
only, but we could only do the best that we knew. Somehow, somewhere, we all got this idea that criticizing ourselves is the way to happiness.
I know.
It never worked for me. It's never worked for anyone I've met either.
I know it sounds funny, doesn't it? But it is true. I grew up like that, being criticized.
Mhm. So if we can simply, just for this moment, and we can keep choosing this at little moments during the day, what am I shoulding myself about right now? Can I just, I'm going to be late. I should have set off earlier. Well, I didn't. Okay. I'll just have to be late, you know? Maybe next time, if I'm not criticizing myself, I might be able to set off earlier.
Yes, yes.
This one thing, when I did it consistently, chose it again and again, just like in these mini moments, just to stop, feel into my experience. And I could even do it while I was walking or talking eventually. Like, let me just drop the judgment that's going on somehow in the background of myself.
Yeah, I mean, you must get caught by it too. Like it feels like the mind would catch and, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, and you run with it for a while before you would realize, oh, there I go again.
And if you don't make a story out of that, it happens. So
Yeah, I shouldn't have gone that far. I should have
why
known
did
I
I let
was.
myself get caught up? Well, it happened. End of story. Done. It's finished. There's an opportunity even there to just, okay, that was what happened. Nothing else I'm going to say about it.
Yeah, I wish I could be as patient with myself as you are with me, Helen.
Well, I used to be a very angry. I used to feel deeply ashamed of myself. I used to criticize myself constantly. I used to actually hate myself, who I thought I was at least. So if I can find my way to here, so can you and everyone, right?
Mm.
If you just do this that we're talking about consistently, every moment is an opportunity to just simply, what am I trying to get rid of about myself or change? And can I just not do that? I might still be scared or angry, but at least I'm not being inauthentic or rejecting myself as well at the same time. And
Yeah.
something wonderful happens then, that it just becomes easier to just, it becomes a habit, like, and eventually you forget how to criticize yourself. Those thoughts
Right.
just don't show up anymore. And not eventually like years, I'm talking a
Yeah.
month or something, just a
Yeah,
month.
my mind went straight to thinking that'll take years before I can stop
No,
judging myself.
no. Even your mind wants to get in on it, right? Because mind wants to feel better. It wants to have nicer thoughts. It doesn't want to have critical thoughts. It's just having those critical thoughts because somehow it thinks that that will make everything better.
Yes, yes, yes. It's thinking I'm going to make life better if I beat him up more.
And like that's when you look at that, that's totally insane. It's never worked for us, right? Any of us.
Yeah, it's like that thing, the beatings will continue until morale improves.
Yes, exactly. And I made myself a promise after doing this for a few days. I will not say anything to myself that the Buddha or Christ or whoever, pick your favorite
Yeah.
avatar, awakened being, or whoever. If they wouldn't say it to me, I won't say it to me. And that
I
was the
mean, Jesus.
deepest and best way I could honor the truth, right? What if you did that even for just one day? I will not say anything about myself that would not come out
A whole
within.
day.
Start with 10 minutes.
Five
Start with
minutes.
10 minutes. And then if you like
Or
it, do
maybe
another
30
10.
seconds, maybe.
30 seconds works too.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's great. I'll give it well, let me not say I'll give it a shot. Let me
I,
say
I
I'll
know
do
what you mean. Don't worry. I know what you mean.
it.
Yeah.
Well, people say I'll try, which means you're not really going to do it. So I'm going to commit to do it. Thank you
Is
so
this where
much.
we have a Yoda moment? There is no try, do or do not.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that was it. What is the quote from Yoda? There is no
Something
try,
like
do
that.
what
Yeah.
you
Do
do.
do or do not. No trying. Yeah.
Oh,
But not
okay.
not making it like a like I'm going to spend all day. Just like 10 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever. And then
Mm.
after that, I'll do another 5 minutes when I feel. And it just becomes a habit like that.
But when you catch yourself getting deep into it, like say I woke up in the night and I suddenly realized, oh God, I've been in it for the last half an hour. Oh, I shouldn't be in it for half an hour. I should have been listening to what Helen said. Oh, why am I still doing this?
So there's a
That's
moment
when you've got
right
to
there.
let that go too, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, right there. Okay, so I spent half an hour or an hour or 4 hours freaking out in the middle of the night.
Right.
Those were for me, those 2 or 4 a.m. moments, hours, were some of the most unwanted but most beneficial practice times for this, where I couldn't really distract myself. Everyone else was asleep in the middle of the night. It's okay. I spent 4 hours freaking out. It only happened if I make a story about it. Otherwise, it's just doesn't really mean anything, does it?
No. Thank you again.
Thank
So
you.
grateful for your patience.
Always,
So I do
always.
feel like I asked the same thing, and I feel like you're so patient with me.
If you ask me 100,000 times, I would answer 100,000 times. I needed to hear it 100,000 times myself. Just because you see me now like this doesn't mean I was always like this.
And I want to see the video. What you were like 20 years ago.
Ask my kids, ask my husband, right? They'll tell you. Yeah. One day the kids came to I just finished meditating and I felt really guilty that I hadn't been spending time with them. I'd been meditating I mean, they were old enough, and I said, I'm really sorry I spent so long meditating. And they just said, Mom, this meditation stuff is working. You should do it more, like a bit easier going. So
I love it.
we all need to hear it again and again. And that's what we started this conversation with, about just repetition, isn't it? Every time you ask this question, it gives everyone a chance to feel into it and just let go of some judgment.
Oh, I figured they're all enlightened except me.
I had that story I'm the only one that's not going to get it, Yeah.
That's what I like about you. Everything I talk about, you've had that too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just recognizing, the courage it takes to put your hand up and ask a question here on Satsang. Nobody is judging you. Of course, your own mind. But it doesn't,
It's so easy.
yeah, it doesn't
You're so accepting.
it doesn't always get easier, does it?
Mm.
But you do it anyway, and you do us all a service by doing that.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Lots of love.
Thank you so much, Helen.
Okay, we'll squeeze Terence in really quick if we can.
Hi, Helen.
Hi, love.
Um, I don't know if you remember. I'm like Keith. I always ask you. I'm the one that always asks you about Kundalini.
That's okay. That's okay, yeah.
Um, but I've been and I guess the last time we spoke, I was begin more and more feeling into the body and realizing how that is what stops the mind.
Yeah.
And
I remember, yeah, you were experiencing it quite differently than you had done before. Yeah.
And even now, I've been able to be a lot longer in the body like now, but I'm become all non-functional, then my mind will almost completely stop. And then I kind of get what you're talking about.
There's some peace there, right?
Yeah, and it's weird because it's this it's not what I wanted at all, of course. It's not what I wanted.
What do you want then?
I wanted to be my ego, but successful.
I want to be an enlightened ego, yeah. Yeah. But that is not what you wanted. You are this place of infinite silence, beingness. And there was a moment for me where I realized awakening wasn't going to make me special because it wasn't going to make me an extra special me. It was going to just show me that that's not who I am. And my sense of a separate self was very upset by that. He wanted to be special.
Yeah, that seems like that's the thing that's hardest to let go of, that need or want to be special. And now I'm considering the possibility that maybe what you really want is to be free of that need.
Yeah. And little by little, excuse me, the peace and the equanimity and the joy that begins to develop eventually from recognizing who you really are is much more appealing than being an extra special person, you know? And in a way, awakening is so ordinary. But as we go into that ordinariness, there's something extraordinary there. Something very quiet in the background that's more than even whatever our ego's wildest success dreams could be. It surpasses even that. But at first, we have to kind of just watch, you know, there is something within our separate sense of self or our ego that says, this is not at all what I thought. I didn't sign up for this, right? I wanted to wake up. Yeah.
I got tricked into it.
Yes. Yeah.
This is not what I wanted at all. Not at all. I
But
got tricked.
as you sink deeper and deeper into that, you'll realize actually this is what I wanted. There's a beautiful quote by Meister Eckhart that describes how it settles in. And I might not get it exactly right, but he said, I find that I am what I wanted, and I want what I am. And it's beautiful. I am what I wanted, and I want what I am. You know, our separate sense of self is so busy trying to want something else. I want to be something else, anything else than this. But actually we come to this place where I recognize I am already what I wanted, what I've been striving for.
That only works for me with no thoughts, because the moment I have one, I'm back and I want to be special.
Yeah.
But it's only when I'm here, and maybe that's the question, is like, I guess the body takes time to process it, because I really can't move. And like the body experience is so intense right now, but then that's the only time my mind's quiet.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's so noisy. I identify right away. Right away, the moment of thought. And actually, you're one of the only teachers that I heard you talked about I remembered you saying, with the exception of very few functional thoughts, like turn right here, you're talking about the complete absence of thoughts, hardly any.
Yeah.
But he says that, and I think that's the way I got to go, because the moment if I have just one thought, I'm back.
It will
And I
shift
want to
though.
be back.
Over time, as you can relax into this the best that you can, right? Over time, it will shift to where the mind can be talking, but there's just so much resting in this silent place that even when mind does talk, it's just it's like you're down at the bottom of the ocean and it's so quiet, so peaceful. And right on the surface, right up there, there's something talking. And you can't even hardly hear it, right? You're like, what? You know, it's like a whisper. And at first it's really this or that, right? But as you sink into it more, you're kind of immune to the mind, we could say. You're not really affected by it. I know what you're describing right now isn't like that, and I remember it too, but you just keep relaxing into this the most that you can, the best that you can, and you'll find there's a distance from the mind then. And even when it talks, it doesn't affect the body then. The body is grooving on the recognition of who you really are, this quietness, this peace, and the body's reflecting that in relaxation more and openness and contentment that deepens into joy.
That's what I wanted you to say.
You're well on your way. You're doing everything perfectly, even if your mind says you're not.
Thank you so much. You know, well, here's a clinch. I've actually been listening to you for years now, and I just joined the song up today.
Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome.
And one of the things is that didn't really happen. It couldn't have happened like that. That never happened. That couldn't have happened. I wouldn't have been listening to you for years and only joined the song today. Like that wouldn't be possible. I wouldn't, that couldn't have happened. It didn't happen. I'm trembling and quiet. And I guess I wanted to just say thank you. And you know, the first time I ever heard you, it was coming out of sleep. And I just kind of heard your hypnotic voice and just kind of got drawn. And I had another experience also coming out of sleep where you were playing on my TV and you were talking, I think you were talking to somebody, and I think you were talking about the first time experiencing when your mind couldn't command your body. And then coming out of sleep. And then that happened to me right then. And then when I could move, I was like, no, I must have just imagined that. I made that up. But now I realize, I mean, and then everything you said, and then lately, the last talk I saw of you, you were talking about, I guess suicide came up and that, I guess I've always had a soft, soft spot in my heart for people who had to.
It's okay. It's okay.
There's a lot of no thought, just a lot of feeling.
Yeah.
But thank you for everything. I want to say I really appreciated the times you shared your personal struggles, and I felt that, well, the me really related to the suffering you, and I guess it's one and the same. My suffering is your suffering.
We're all walking the same path, right? And the more I can show everyone that I've been exactly where you are, then the more we can feel that it's possible for each of us to awaken. We have a tendency to look at teachers that have already come through what we're going through and say, see, my experience isn't like theirs. There's no way I can get to where they are. But that's what I'm always trying to say. I've been right there, literally been right there. So I'm glad it helps. Keep doing what you're doing, right? Yeah, you're doing great. Yeah.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank
Yeah, wonderful. Okay. So that's a beautiful place to finish our satsang. Again, I want to thank you for all of your brave sharing. You know, what came up in this satsang several times was that every time we ask a question or share something, we might experience that resistance to doing it, but it helps us all. It helps us all. And, nobody gets more out of the satsang than this body mind sitting here. I get so much from what you share. And I'm always in awe of your willingness to be open and to share your struggles. And of course, we don't want to go through struggles, but it helps us all when we realize we're not the only one that's feeling like we're never going to make it, or that we're going through something that seems impossible to go through at the time. I remember those times so well in my own journey. So thank you for your presence and your honesty and your bravery and your courage and your love for each other. I could see the Zoom thing that goes on, all these hearts going on and popping up all the time. It's just beautiful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Namaste.